Jodi Arias holds her nephew in jail. I'm saying, where the hell they do that at? It's just a question. Do she or does she not? Do she or whatever with the professional. Does this woman in fact deserve to, yes, have her nephew, yes, between her arms while she's serving her sentence or various sentences or something like that? I'm just saying, while she's locked away, should she be able to be given that privilege? I want you, the viewer, to answer that, as in leave me a note below. Way below. But not too far down below, as in where babies pop out. No. But down below in the comment section, should even Jodi Arias, should she be given that sort of privilege despite what she done or did? Anyway, so like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might in fact want to combine those two things together and make them one. And I don't mean two heartbreakers, no. And yet with this sort of situation, maybe so, who knows? Hell, I don't even know. But yes, my notes for the day is completely loose. Not between the knees, no. My notes is all over the place. That's what I mean by that sort of thing. As in, my handwriting can be off. At times, my handwriting, in fact, could be completely off. Don't ask me about my mental state. My mental state, that's a joke. That's a science. But yes, with that sort of thing, my notes can be off, which is why I sort of sometimes jump pages with a sick, twisted twist with even that. You just don't know. Yes, and ain't no Michael Jackson standing here, but possibly a glove on ice. Yeah, so with her, I'm trying to see. Let me see. Arias. I always say her name wrong because I'm thinking of Aries. Like being born in April or something like that. But yes, so I'm sensing Arias. I can't even pronounce her name. I never can. That's the thing. That's a faulty individual on my end. Arias. So let me just say Jodi, because I always slash even her tires as in on her own end with me saying her last name. Let me just say Jodi. Let's make it quick and simple. Okay, so I'm sensing Jodi couldn't handle being dumped. Because if you go back to, yes, dear 2008, such as the year, and the life being taken, which is why she's sitting where she is, pertaining to a jail and jail cell. And then the nephew comes along later and she's allowed to hold him in the process. And yet the same hands that's holding that baby is the same hands that left somebody lifeless and possibly on the ground with trash all around it in the form of body bags or something. Yeah. So Jodi was full of joy over being, yes, she was in fact given the privilege. That's why she was so joyful in the photograph. And which is seen up above my Reckless Dome, right? Reckless Dome. It's a play on words. But yeah, her being seen with her nephew, right? She was all joyful and feeling gleeful about the privilege given to her, right? And that to me, it really don't make sense. But yes, her healthy nephew was in the same hands. And the very same hands. I want you, the viewer, to figure out which hands I'm speaking on. Because I just said it in my opening. And yet we ain't at the closing yet. I'm saying I could get killed talking about this sort of thing. And yet, haha, with her even being behind, yes, a jail cell where even she can't get to me. Going there. Airing that ass out. And I should, right? So yes, back in 2008. She brutally stabbed her boyfriend, Travis Alexander, 29 times. She butchered him 29 times. Does anybody remember the 29 times? She was in fact, yes, in that photograph. It should come back up. I need that to come back up. Dear feeder. And I don't mean a bird feeder. She kind of looked like one sitting there, right? But with that, she's in fact, yes, in her orange jailhouse rock jumpsuit with the baby leaned against her chest. I wonder, there we go. I wonder how trustworthy is the baby. You can't see the orange jumpsuit because it's grayed out, right? But I wonder how trusting is that baby nephew of hers leaned up against her chest, because even babies have intuition. You know what, that baby probably jumped back into the womb if he knew what his auntie did. Possibly, no, not hers. Possibly his father, if the father took him there or whatever, whoever took him there to see her. That baby would, yeah, if that baby knew what even she did, that baby would jump back into the womb, and possibly a surrogate mother. That's a Janet Jackson joke. That needs to be thrown out there as well. But yeah, so anyway, the baby was all leaned up against her chest, all lovingly in the photo, because the baby is so innocent not to know, and yet she's jailed, right? All of this occurred at Arizona's Perryville Correctional Facility, where, yes, Jodi was sent to rot off in hell. And she should. Hey, somebody get her number for me, so yes, so I can call her over the phone, over the landline set with that. That's interesting how serial killers and everything else is able to make calls into cell phones, where back in the day during the landline process of you having an old house phone, that sort of thing wouldn't have taken place. There's tracking and even that. Possibly a GPS. I'm saying where killers do stuff and try to get away with all that other stuff, and then, yeah, they be found later through GPS and a cell phone, jail records and all. But yeah, getting back to her. So yeah, with her rotting in hell as she should, and she needs to be, and hopefully if she die and go to hell, may she rot over there as well. In hell. When she's in heaven. That's what I'm trying to say. They say all people go to heaven as others go to hell. I don't know about that sort of thing. But even if she make her way to heaven, that could be hell as well. That's possibly why I said it that way and not the other way around. Heaven might in fact be hell. You just don't know. But even when she dies off and croaks off, she's going to more likely die in jail, right? But when she gets to heaven, I'm hoping it's hell for her as well. Because how she killed that yes, boyfriend of hers, he wasn't an ex or none of that. To be with somebody and kill them, stabbing them 29 times, right? Okay, so yes, many within Jodi's inner circle feel her nephew has been changing her life for the better. I fail to believe even that. I mean, should I? Should you, the viewer, believe just because she's holding her nephew and he's innocent and she's not, that supposedly even her holding him while she's in prison is changing her for the better? That's almost like the Bible. As in it's cursed. As in I can see straight through over the dashboard and yet ain't one here. Just my own hand pointing in her direction to even where she just need to, yes, fuck off. And even the lying. The lying to trip you up. Even the public and mass media lying and having her inner circle throw that out there so that you can really believe she's a changed woman. That's all some dumb fuck, because the reason why I said it was cursed, as in the lie, what she's telling is because even people, yes, oftentimes go to jail, use the Bible, and try to set the Bible on top of even a judge head to try to pronounce on even him that, look, I'm changing, so you might in fact want to give me less time. So even Jodi is doing that sort of thing, even with her baby nephew. Did you see that in the description? As in I just explained to you, I called out. That's a calling card as well. It's called telling the truth and being evil when you're saying it. Good evening. So yes, Jodi holds no remorse. I can sense that sort of thing and believe that she holds no remorse for even her boyfriend, lover, and all the rest, because if she did, she wouldn't be in jail to begin with. And yet you can hold remorse once you done did something, committed a crime such as a stabbing of 29 times of your boyfriend, and then you sit behind the four walls of a jail and process and think about, yes, what you have did. I'm sorry that I keep pausing, but I keep looking at my time. I'm 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the video is why I keep pausing, because I had to keep checking. But yes, you can in fact somewhat be served remorse on your end, from your own ass, from your own delightful end, by say your subconscious mind playing with you, as in what you have done always sits in the back of your mind. So to sit in jail is to say that sort of thing might in fact play out. Even you're thinking about what the public has thought about you and believed about you after you done butchered somebody 29 times. That has to be in the back of that woman's mind all day. And yet, even if I'm thinking if she's a psychopath, bloodbath, I call it a bloodbath psychopath is what I call it. And faking tears in the courtroom, all that fits together as well. Because even her behavior was odd outside of that, the shedding of tears, right? Sociopath, psychopath, bloodbath, right? All rhymes fits, right? But I can still guess and sense that even she doesn't hold remorse, because I saw tapes for myself and they're not looking the best, as in what she did and what even that. Her being questioned and acting, yes. Just acting is what I'm trying to say. I should have said that in the beginning. That woman with that I can see straight to a motto from my end to hers. I can see all the way through. There's no remorse. There's nothing there. There's not even a feeling. I'm so glad I can see. But yeah, so when it comes to her stabbing that boyfriend 29 times, despite her friends and family feeling her newborn being born is changing her for the better. I just said that. I just think that it's not the baby. No. The lies can be smelt there. The woman's transformation more than likely is not there as well. She's still the same person, I'm guessing and believing. And yet I'm wondering what she does while she's sitting there in her cell, or when she's out on the play yard, as in where prisoners like to go and all the rest when the guards let them out. On the yard and all that. On the field or whatnot, right? What is this woman's everyday activities? What could that be? Jodi's activities while she's locked away. I would so love to know. Even that sort of individual can be contacted. Yes, she can. Writing process and all that. Contacting, yes, a team on Jodi's end. Friends and family, the very same individuals that's speaking out for her and all the rest, is where you would go. But yes, just because a baby has been born and the family don't, yes, if they don't watch it, she might in fact kill that baby as well. You just don't never know. You don't ever even know, because even family members are prone and known to fall out. And yet to be too far back, locked away in the jail cells, to say you can't get to the baby unless it's during visitation. But even I'm thinking that Jodi, if she wanted to, even if she fell out with family and say she wasn't in prison, possibly could put the baby to death or something. Sometimes people are so trusting. And yet I'm thinking and sensing to hold a family together is in fact place a baby beside it, as in plop it right on Jodi's chest. Just enough for her to greet the baby, so that even Jodi's not forgotten, right? And yet, yeah, I don't know what to make of these sort of situations. I just don't with that, because doing handstands and all the rest, and Jodi acting out while pertaining to being locked away, and the things that she does is what I'm trying to say, Jodi, right? That's why it's highly unbelievable. So yeah, to use a baby as a pawn, using a baby as a pawn, that's in fact what Jodi is in fact doing over there, and yet the public just don't know. I'm so glad my view count right here is down on this channel, and yet it's not on my other one. My YouTube account right here, the view count is completely down, right? And yet with certain videos, there's certain things I say on certain channels that I don't say on other channels when it comes to particular celebrities, and this being one of the cases, because even Jodi is a celebrity, right? And yet I'm saying there's backstabbers out there with there's information I be knowing about things. The pawn and the games that even people play, such as celebrities, when it's not truthful. And this is one of those things, using that baby like that. Using that baby. That's a pawn ordeal. Trying to use a baby as a pawn to get off easy or something. And yet she has to stay in jail because remember, that's the sentence. Or it was. And yet with the justice system being so fucked up, you never even know. Trust and believe, even with the baby sitting on the Jodi's chest in the way that it did and it is and it does in that photo that I presented above, is to say even she can be possibly seen in the streets even years from now, despite her giving the sentence that she was, killing that boyfriend the way that she did. You don't even never know. They might in fact allow her to get out just because she's holding a baby, and people wanting to believe that she's a changed woman. That's why the justice system is fucked up. People don't take the time to understand the mindset of killers, which is why sometimes they're too able to walk free pertaining to a justice system. Because sometimes even those individuals making the judgments and decisions, they let sincerity come to play. Sincerity a little bit too much, that they would in fact allow a Jodi to leave out of a prison despite her sentence. I just read that twice. I'm reading you the rights. As I'm reading you, the viewer, your rights. Despite me not being an officer, and yet I know how things can be done in this. Because see, to even beat Jodi and get too famous is to say even her fame and status could be used in that, as in helping her to get out of jail a little bit too soon, despite there being a life sentence or something there. Helps to pay attention. That's off the hook. But yes, she's in fact she was given a lifelong sentence. There's no grand finale in that. And hopefully it won't ever be. As in walking the streets and all that. Because I'm wondering if Jodi was out of jail and all this other stuff, who else would she in fact kill? I might in fact go head to head and toe to toe with even a Jodi and a Casey Anthony. I'm saying I don't fear individuals like her. Or the other her. Casey or a Jodi. And yet I'm guessing and believing a man would want to. Sort of thing. Yet I look like a man, so you never even know what that. I'm just wondering what type of victims could there ever have been more. Would Jodi, if Jodi was never found out in all these stabbings of 29 times to that boyfriend of hers that she was with, if that sort of thing would have never been found out, I wonder if Jodi would have kept doing it. And then it would have been just random guys out here just dead and, laid to rest with that. And then nobody knew who did what. Because that's serial killers as well. That's in fact my focus, serial killers. And yet with Jodi, yes, that would have been her. I'm thinking. So I'm thinking it was lucky she was found when she was. Because if not, oh my goodness. Many of them could in fact have been black males as well. You don't even know. That's off the hook. Mexicans, Asians. I flip a bowl on his head. In the style and fashion of Code Red. And that rhymed. But there's no Mountain Dew with that. But yeah, I'm trying to see. Because see, that's a good question. The exploration in our minds. If Jodi wouldn't have been locked away, what will be going on? Because see, even that Casey Anthony is walking and roaming the streets, and yet I have yet to hear about Casey Anthony killing anybody, and yet that's a good question too. As in, I just thought it up on the spot. I wonder if at any time if Casey Anthony in her free time is out here walking and roaming streets killing people. Nobody has asked that question, and yet I am. Because I don't fear nothing with even that sort of thing. Taking a chance on even that. Shouts out to Discovery. Shouts out to a player. Yeah. People that, I said that in one of my other videos. People that kill people when they are allowed to go free. Sometimes they get out here and they have even sometimes accidents, as in miscommunications or whatever, and somebody set them off or something, and they accidentally kill somebody or something. Even, I'm saying after they leave the jail or something. And then that's how, they in fact, with the accident. I'm not saying the baby on Casey Anthony's end was an accident. And I'm not even saying Jodi's situation with that boyfriend and the stabbing was an accident. No, I'm just saying those type of people, if you're known and prone to murder, to say that sort of thing could happen again and keep happening, because remember, you're already prone to murder. And yet you might in fact do that sort of thing in secrecy, and the public might not know that it's prone to happen, because to say be a Casey Anthony type of individual, to say, okay, why even she want to kill her child in the first place, for even a Jodi, yes, For her to want to kill in the way is to say, well, why? Do you have anger, dispute issues, or whatnot? So if there is an accident, such as a murder, and you being a Casey Anthony walk in the streets and you kill somebody, would anybody ever know? I just spun around in a circle and you didn't even feel that as in the vision and seeing it as it was taking place, as in happening. I had to do that on purpose, the circle in which I just drove you in with that. My drive, I like to do, go in circles sometimes in conversation when I talk, because I need to know, is Casey Anthony doing any of that when she's in the darkness? Because nobody is even hardly seeing Casey Anthony, despite her being a celebrity off her child's death. But yeah, so Jodi, I'm thinking even that would have, because yeah, stabbing like that, yeah, is to say you're prone to do more damage, and even a judge knew that sort of thing. And I'm hoping the judge and all the rest prosecutors and prosecution with that sticks and stays the same, as in no change and no alteration despite no baby being there in the photo. Oh, so let me see. Anybody remember when Jodi in fact had crazy wild antics? Yes, when she tempted prison guards and other prisoners. She in fact Jodi did all type of things. Stints and all the rest when it comes to that sort of thing. Yes, X-rated antics. Did you get that? I don't want to explain that much more deeper. It takes too much time, but X-rated. Just think of X-rated antics. X-rated antics. Jodi, in fact, yes, she used X-rated antics just to tempt prison guards and other prisoners. Was it girls? Does Jodi need a girlfriend in her life? Don't come over here, because, yeah, I don't play that too well. Either pertaining to, yes, the killing and all that other stuff. I get rid of killers. Put them out my life in the movement, right? No jaws involved. Shouts out to the Discovery Channel. They caught that. Y'all caught that? Yeah, y'all caught that. Anyway, so Jodi, she now has a job in the prison library as she continues down the path of fighting for freedom. And I'm in question of what freedom and why. This is no civil rights movement and action expression of civil rights. What is going on? To be civil is to act civil, and yet why and where? She tried to play acting civil in the courtroom right there because she's grieving in tears and all that, and yet the actions of that boyfriend lover is to say civil rights wasn't even there. To begin with. So what's the fight for freedom? I don't get Jodi's mindset. Maybe she just loved to fight and shoot darts at people. The shoot a lucky charm is to say. I'm saying she did. Without a gun. It was just a knife. And yet she uses, it's like she used or uses charm or something to try to get over on people. Yes, and most serial killers have been known to use that sort of thing. That baby keep coming back and play. And it's fighting for freedom, because even for me to, yes, question her fighting as in the reason why she's fighting for freedom, and said no, she's using the baby to do it. I just said that 3 times. I just hope that she ain't fighting for anything. Despite them saying she fighting for some freedom, because she don't deserve any new. That's interesting in itself. Moving on. So let's rewind back to the photo. Yes, of her with her nephew. And all, yes, the excuses with that. As in her being a supposed changed woman. I wonder if she's butch. I wonder if even Jodi, and yes, while she's locked away in prison, if she can be known to be butch. As in telling all those prisoners and all the chicks and all. I'm thinking the cut hair, shaved off buzz cut would play in with that. So does she like to play and be the man in the household of the jail, prison, with the prison guards and all the rest, and getting down on even them possibly doing dirty deeds and all this other stuff? Jodi, I'm just asking a question. Who plays the male figure in the household of the prison? That's funny in itself. And yet that's got to be called out, because to know that she's going to be in prison for life is to say no man more than likely ain't going to be involved. I can't see one. Or maybe so. Maybe she might in fact marry one while she's in prison, and yet to be around too many girls is to say, even with that sort of thing. You might in fact want to learn a love lesson with that. You're serving life in prison, and you're not having a dickly piece to get down with, is to say you're using something else or something. Possibly even in the dark or something. I don't know. Go ask her, as in call her. Do a visitation or something over the phone with that. Yes, that's a price set, I know. And and it doesn't involve pay less. With that. You might in fact have to pay to see her, is what I'm trying to say, in visitation. But yeah, so now cracking a strobe, like, yes, in relation to the nephew and a Dr. Scott Bond, a criminal profiler who has studied Josie's case, tends to believe she is capable of feeling, and she's also capable of love and affection for her helpless nephew. Notice how I said that? A Dr. Scott Bond is falling for the detail, retail, or even the fakeness on the end of the charm of Jodi's. With the fake detail. The doctor, a criminal profiler, is in fact falling for that woman's charm. That's sad. That I said it already. That's how people get off during the jury and justice system, because of those type of people. A Dr. Scott Bond being a criminal profiler. He thinks and believes this woman is capable of feeling. He thinks she's capable of love and affection for her helpless nephew. What? That ain't ever gonna work. You gotta keep distance with that. Away from her with that. The outrage, there would in fact be outrage with what that man stated. Because I don't think the public would agree with that sort of thing. As in the woman, the same one that killed and brutally killed her boyfriend like that. I don't think the public would agree with her being able to love and have affection for that helpless nephew of hers that she was holding in the photograph. I want you, the viewer, to tell me. That don't seem right. You being a criminal profiler, I'm thinking that you should be like, okay, this is a witch hunt. You being, yes, Dr. Scott Bond, I'm thinking you wouldn't want to give no bond. As in no shine to her, no bond or a bondsman with that sort of thing. You would in fact want to tell everything and possibly the baby to stay away. As in throw the stroller on the other side of the room without the baby being in it. As in take the baby back home, is what I'm trying to say. Criminal profiler. You would think, yeah. I mean, I know humans in fact have emotions. I said that already. But criminals in this style and fashion, the killer like a Jodi does not think and process emotion and all the rest pertaining to, yes, her logic, reasoning, skills, and emotions, all that in between. Something must be shut off or something at times in relation to the woman's emotions. Because to kill in that way is to say, how are your emotions, and are they lying dormant, as in you're able to put them away and then bring them back on the surface and fake with people in the process, even with the tears being shown in the courtroom. So you're able to actually stab somebody, butcher them like that, and then stand on the podium stand with jurors involved and all that, and then you cry. All this flipping back and forth, yes, that's humanly. Yet it don't make sense to me. I don't know why that is. Okay, this is why. Okay, let me get to it right here. This is in fact on the research, and this is why the sociopath. Jodi is in fact a sociopath. No, I didn't rehearse my notes. I didn't rehearse my notes. But with that sort of thing, that's why, because she's a sociopath. Dr. Scott Bond, in fact, states Jodi is a sociopath and she's capable of extreme violence along with tenderness at the same time. So that, in fact, answers my question of that. Why she's able to hold that baby soft and sweet, and yet she's able to process her emotions, or maybe not just enough to kill somebody brutally. Yes, with that. He goes on to say, this is Dr. Scott Bond again. He goes on to say, it's possible in her heart that she'd have real affection for her newborn nephew, while at the same time she can also be cold-hearted. Did you get that? What I said? What the doctor said? With her being a sociopath, he's saying it's possible in her heart. That's swole in itself. It's possible in her heart that she'd have real affection for her newborn nephew, while at the same time she can be cold-hearted. That's sociopathic. There's in fact individuals that hold and possess sociopathic tendencies, and yet they're not sociopaths. Everyday human beings hold that sort of thing, and yet even there's a learning curveball with even that, right? In relation to the extremity, as in how far somebody's gonna go, even if they're not a full-blown sociopath. Because even in the courtroom, sometimes they use mentally insane to even help you, yes, get off, as in get less times. And I'm getting less time, receive less time is how you can, yes, get off in the courtroom. But in relation to that, I'm wondering too, could that been one of these sort of cases, as in using sociopath as Jodi's identity, and yet she's not, or something. Just enough to lessen her sentence, and yet if you see, it hasn't been lessened at all, because she's in there for life. That's like the 5th time or 10th time that I stated that. So, could she really love a child if she had a child of her own? And I'm wondering, I should have asked that in the beginning. If, say, Jodi had a baby and her stabbing that boyfriend, I'm wondering if she would have killed everybody in the household when she killed that boyfriend. That, in fact, yes, if that had existed back then when she did that in 2008, that would point me in a direction, as in showing me if she's really capable of loving a child, even loving her nephew. Because if she would have had a baby or mini baby or multiple babies, that's the ask. Yes, I'm sounding like Casey Anthony all over again, as in interviewing, and yet I'm not, right? She even looks somewhat like Casey Anthony with the glasses on. That's strange in itself. But yeah, I'm wondering if she would have had kids with her boyfriend if she would have just killed all of them, the babies included. Nobody asked that either, and yet it should. You should in fact want to take time to ask that, because that's a lesson too. It's called knowing how to question and answer things, right? So, also I'm wondering if that would have taken place, such as, say, her having kids and a boyfriend, kids by the boyfriend, or maybe cheating on him and having kids by somebody else or whatever, right? That would be to ask if she would have killed everybody in the process, including her own children, if she would have in fact and today received a lifelong sentence, but more so anything death row, as in be placed on death row, where even it wouldn't be announced her holding her nephew. That's what I'm trying to say. That's off this, yeah. All of this. Pity parties in the courtroom. Okay, so Dr. Scott Bond has a book entitled Why We Love Serial Killers. He do, in fact, have a book titled Why Do We Love Serial Killers. Many people, in fact, have infatuation for, yes, serial killers. Not only are there fans of serial killers, but more people want to understand the mindset. That's why, more than likely, he wrote the book. I myself didn't read the book as of yet, but if you want to cop that, as in get a copy, is to look it up. It's possibly on Amazon. Amazon.com. That is completely... No. What do you, the viewer, think about this sort of situation? The privilege aspect. Because some people, they in fact, yes, obtain too much in relation to what they're allowed to do. I'm thinking even her shouldn't even be allowed to be next to anything breathing. And possibly not even a prison guard, as in put her lights out or something. In the form of a death sentence or something. Does that or does that not make sense to you, the viewer? Oh, by the way, on Discovery, what is airing right now, live now, you're asking? Also, leave the comments below. I said that, yeah. But getting to the goods because we're about to close out, right? But yeah, so live now is in fact Web of Lies. Discovery logo in fact sits near and far, but not that far away in a trace. Deadly Women, the latest episodes, you can in fact click that and it's gonna, yes, take you to that as in watch now. Recommended for you, Paula. Shouts out to Paula. I don't mean Peggy Fox. Hell no. At WSA9. No. Evo Lives Here. You can in fact add that to your favorites. Each video would in fact be mounted with a it has been mounted, a description to feed on even that, as in more. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda. That's my dude. That's my other baby daddy up under the mousetrap, right? That's my daddy, other baby daddy, and possibly next husband with that sort of thing. Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Check him out. Red Rum, Not the Shiny Note, Blood Relatives, ID Now, Most Evil Ranked, American Monster, Twisted. These is all good things. Yes, it is. Let me check my time. 36 minutes in I am. Don't check me how I drive. I don't need nobody come over here checking me how I drive, talking about I drive too slow. Well, if you will put your head look, you feel that I drive too slow, then if you will put your headphones on, or not your headphones, your headlights on, you will be able to see me. Or possibly your headlights as well as your headphones, who knows, right? But don't be trying to tell me how to drive on my end over here. Talking about you move too slow. Oh well, so does your granny, and yet, yeah, so does your granny, and yet don't nobody say nothing about that. I paused, I know. That was a joke. So yeah, unlocked episodes. You might in fact want to click this for a preview. You can add to watch later by clicking right here. To Catch a Killer, Season 1, Episode 1. Twisted Sisters, Season 1, Episode 1. Blood Runs Code, Season 1, Episode 1. Twisted, Season 7, Episode 3. Any one of these you flick through is going to in fact show you the detail on even that. On Last Night, Fatal Vows, In Plain Sight, Deadly Women. That's in fact, yes, I showed you that up above, right? To Catch a Killer, The Perfect Murder. In order to get into this is to in fact sign in with your provider. Going to in fact sign in and let them know who's your carrier provider and all the rest. And I don't mean phone service, no, TV, so that you can unlock that to get in to watch. ID original series, To Catch a Killer, Inside the Chase. Description. Pamela Smart, The Missing Pieces. Description. Schedule preview. Support Save the Children's hurricane relief efforts. You can click right here on the donate here and it would in fact take you to that sort of thing. I love those sort of things. Yes, I do. I'm all about philanthropy, yes, and charity and all the rest, because that shows the public you in fact care. As in there's more to life outside of just you is all I'm trying to say. That's not me trying to be mean though. It's just a science with that. Yes, the crime feed, the click here is in fact to be directed to the outside, as in it's going to take you over to the crime feed, crimefeed.com to be specific. Shouts out to Nick Nolte. I think he got my whole shower curtain on, as in he's wearing it. My shower curtain. Nick Nolte. That's a play on words from my end to his. As in don't slip and fall with that sort of thing. Having it on, as in you might slip and fall and end up in jail with that, because that shirt is completely reckless, let me tell you, and how he looks. I wonder, hold on, if I scroll back up, I wonder how it would appear if Nick Nolte, yes, Jodi, and Casey Anthony had a threesome. How would that end in the process? And not only that, how would their child look if a baby was made from two wombs? Coming out of two wombs, a baby being made coming out of two wombs from the sperm of his, and how it looks, such as Nick Nolte. That's off the hook. Red Crimes, yes, Hidden Murders. You can download that where it says download now right there. Yes, to receive a newsletter is in fact type your email and click next, which is right next to it. You just can't see it. It's playing hide. It's in fact playing hide and go seek with that sort of thing. The next button, as in I'm blocking it. I'm sitting on it. Could be a tampon. You never even know. And blood with that. So I think that's all to be said for now. I'm about to end this video out. I am. Is there a problem with that? Is it? Is it a problem with me ending out so soon? Well, I would love to stay, and yet I must go.